If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
Why telling me to smile triggers my social anxiety, by Eleanor Maxwell. Recently, I watched and listened to a man I respect and admire say to a young girl, "Smile, look like you're enjoying yourself." It was not intended in a patronizing way, it never is, and this person happens to be really great with children, but for some reason, this was a trigger for me. I just felt my jaw clench, my throat tighten, and my eyes water. I had to stop myself thinking about it at the time, in case this unsolicited response got worse, but I had to wonder why it had such an impact. I used to be that girl. I was always shy, so I was always told to smile because otherwise it looked like I didn't want to be there. Often I just didn't want the attention. As I got older, things became a bit more complicated. I could be perfectly happy and content somewhere, but it could appear to someone else that I was miserable. And so, I would be told to cheer up, even though I was never in a bad mood to begin with. I worked in hospitality and service for close to 6 years. Surely this would have helped, spending all those hours a day around people, having to present a persona to some surly customers who never deserve your time. But that was the part I struggled with, presenting a persona. It was during these years in the cafe industry that my social anxiety got worse and worse, and my ability to exude happiness whether I felt like it or not became increasingly difficult. At the beginning, I was just shy, nervous, insecure, awkward. Those were things that actually got better the longer I worked. But the thing with social anxiety, at least for me, is that even when I felt fine, not nervous or awkward, I sometimes just couldn't make my face look happy. It would remain impassive. It's not so much the resting bitch face, as the resting numb to expression face. I was told repeatedly by my boss that I needed to talk to customers more, needed to engage with them and snap out of the world I hid myself in when I was churning out coffees like a machine. No matter how much it was drilled into us by the invisible hierarchy of tall white men who had never had the pleasure of being tutted at by an old woman waiting 30 seconds too long, I just couldn't see myself as being that person to give the customers that first-rate, extra mile, above and beyond, customer service. Some days, this just seemed impossible. Not every day. Some days I was super smiley and chatty, and yes, those days made me feel better, but it only meant that on the days when I wasn't like this, everyone thought I was sad, or angry. One day, I literally walked into work, coat still on, hadn't even started my day, and a man told me to smile. I wasn't even in a bad mood. But somehow he felt obliged to tell me how I should be wearing my face. I must stress that I am never intentionally impolite, but I have been complained about twice because of my attitude. I have since realized that the service industry is not the place for me, but I acknowledge that it is because of that industry that my mental health has suffered. It shouldn't be the obligation of people, yes, mostly men, to publicly complain about someone's facial expressions. It just shows how little they know of anxiety, depression, and just whatever else someone may be having to put up with that day. Because of people like this, I thought that there was something perpetually wrong with me, with my personality. My insecurities all lie in whether I feel like I am coming across well to someone. Sometimes, my brain and my face do not connect to each other, and these situations only lead to anxiety when those around don't understand this. So understand, I am happy to be here. That's why I'm here. Just don't tell me to smile. Eleanor is a mature student at the University of Manchester, passionate about equality, mental health, and the environment. When not reading and studying, she is probably involved in a theater production or cooking an elaborate vegan meal.